and welcome. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now with me, Snehi Shah, and with me is Shrishti Sharma. Now, this is a show where we are going to take you through all the big buzzers in today's trade, bring in technical experts, and also tell you what they are spotting on the charts and the levels that they are looking at for some of the top buzzers in today's trade. But before we do that, let's take a look at the markets. Shrishti, and Nifty seems to be rather flat as of now, and you have Sensex also not doing much. So tell us what the markets are up to.
So Snehi, we actually have come off the day's highest point, but the good part is that for the past couple of hours we are just doing nothing because Nifty 50, like you highlighted, is almost flat, while for the Bank Nifty that's a mere 40 points of gain what we are seeing. But it's the broader markets that seem to be really excited, and especially if you look at the advances and declining ratio, that's clearly tilted in the favor of the advances. But a lot of stock specific action, but from the large cap space, it's Titan that is shining really bright in today's trading session. 3.5% gains what we are seeing on Titan, and Hero Motocorp, there's been no stopping for this counter. We have been highlighting that there are a lot of key developments happening at Hero Motocorp, and the company is soaring, the stock price is soaring high. 2% gain is what we are witnessing on Hero Motocorp. Other than that, onto the news related to the Biosecure Act of the US, there's a lot of CDMO players from the likes of Syngene, Divi's Lab, Laurus Lab, they all are excited. But on the flip side, that's the FMCG pack that has seen some profit booking. Britannia, Nestle are the top drags. Other than that, some of the Bajaj group related counters, Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Auto, they are seen to be a bit under pressure. But don't think that there's much of a concern in the markets right now, because the global handover was not that great all in all, but we have managed well. Just yesterday, we did close the day at the day's highest point for us. There was a bit of a recovery in the second half, so let's wait by and see that for today as well if we follow the same trend.
Absolutely, because remember, Shrishti, implied open was indicating such a gap up start for us, and just see where we are right now. So, well, almost a couple of hours left to go for the trading session today. Let's see if we can inch up a recovery. But on that note, let me welcome on board Dhwani Patel, the founder at Finversify, for us to give us a technical check. And from the research team today, we are joined by Gaurav. So, welcome both of you to the show, and thank you so much, Dhwani, for taking the time out and speaking to us. But on that note, let me kickstart the show and talk about one of the top buzzers in today's trading session, and that is Somato. Now, Somato has been in focus for a couple of trading sessions on the back of brokerage notes that we have seen all through the month of August coming in on this stock. But today we have a brokerage note coming in from Jefferies, and they've maintained an overweight rating on the stock, have gone ahead and hiked the target price to 340 rupees from 208. Remember, now this is the new highest price that any brokerage house has targeted for Somato. Remember, earlier you had UBS that had a target price of 320. Jefferies came out with a note at 335, and now they have also gone ahead and upped this target to 340 rupees. They believe that spearheading a rapid retail consumer transformation via convenience and selection focused quick commerce is going to work well for the company. They're also going deeper across all metros, having proven the model in NCR. So this quick commerce is going to work very well for Somato. The scale should help it drive monetization from channel margins and ad spending, and they expect it to lead the disruption of modern trade and e-commerce. So Jefferies is raising their forecasts over FY25-27 by 15 to 41%, and they also build a bigger going out business combining core dining and new ticketing business. This is a key positive that they are highlighting for Somato. Somato doing pretty well, up almost 5.2%.
Alright, that's about Zomato, but let's shift focus to what Raymond Lifestyle is doing, because Raymond Lifestyle, the demerged entity of Raymond, debuted on the stock markets today, and just after the listing we did see the stock falling in now today at a locked in and lower circuit at 2850 rupees. But we did speak with the management as well, where the company did highlight that they have great goals in the times ahead. They have created 7-year roadmap during COVID-19 phase, and they are already in the transformation stage. They are seeing a value unlocking for the shareholders, and this particular step was actually in the same direction, and they are looking also to list the Raymond Realty next year. So that's the commentary coming in from the management. But with this, let's go across and also hear out from the top boss of Raymond, that is Mr. Gautam Singhania, where he talks about the demerger pipeline for the realty business and what lies ahead for the company.
It's a pure play company now, and I think it'll have its own governance, own structures, own growth plans, own management team. So I think it's a huge advantage of a pure play company.
And what's the feeling like with Raymond's Lifestyle now listed And I mean, this was a very long exercise for you with the demerger.
It's a great feeling. Now from here it can only go up. It's listed reasonably well. So from here we're looking at the way journey up.
In terms of the Bangladesh situation and also the impact on the global garment outsourcing, what opportunities do you see for Raymond due to that?
So I think the Bangladesh opportunity is a great opportunity for us. And moving forward, we're going to capitalize on that.
In terms of Raymond Limited, the engineering business will remain under Raymond Limited. How are you looking to leverage the position of Raymond Limited, and what are the new areas Raymond Limited could get into in the future?
Well, Raymond Limited will get demerged next year. It'll have a lifestyle business, an engineering, a real estate business, and an engineering business. And from there, we'll create further shareholder value.
What's the timeline for listing the realty business?
It should be 9 to 12 months.
Okay, that's the word coming in from Gautam Singhania, but let's keep it going with all the stocks. And Dhwani, your first stock, you've picked out Hindustan Zinc for us. Now, it's an interesting pick, right? Because if I see the 6-month chart, the stock is up 60%. If I see the last 1-month chart, the stock is down 20%. So, what's your view going ahead on the charts? Do you think after this recent consolidation that the stock has seen, do you think now is the time for some up move on the charts for this stock?
Good afternoon, everyone. And yes, that's the reason why Zinc is in focus today, because overall, definitely we have seen that the stock had made at a top around 805 levels, and from there we've constantly seen a downward tick in the short-term charts. But overall, if you see the broader structure is on the bullish side, and the stock is taking up a support around its 200 exponential moving average, which falls on the lower side around 485 levels, and from there we are seeing upward tick coming into this particular counter. Even the weekly structure of the same one is intact, as the stock has not crossed below its 50 weeks of exponential moving average, and volumes is something which is slowly picking up in this particular counter. So that's why it's on the technical radar. It's a buy recommendation coming in from the current level. It's a mean reverting trade on the daily charts. So from current levels, one can go long into it. Keep a stop loss on the lower side at 480. On the higher side, the target that we can expect first is of 530, and then 570 is what is the place where one can book profits into.
Alright, that's about Hindustan Zinc. But moving on, one of the buzzers today is definitely AU Small Finance Bank, and Gaurav, a sector that you track very closely. Tell us what Goldman Sachs is highlighting on the same.
Well, yes. Now, Goldman Sachs has initiated with buy rating and a target price of 831 rupees on AU Small Finance Bank. What they believe is that actually the bank is ready for its next earning, and we may see the sector leading EPS growth in this bank. Now, what we have seen already is that the stock derating, which is already behind us, is what Goldman Sachs believes. And now they also believe that the drivers are in place for the re-rating for valuation. They believe that the derating was an opportunity on the back of the improved earnings that we have seen, and on the back of all the factors that they are considering, they are expecting EPS to grow somewhere in the range of 27% over the next 3 years, and we may see ROA also improving for the bank. Now, when we talk about AU Small Finance Bank, it is relatively better placed when we talk about the cycle improving, and at the same time we also may see deposits market actually increasing for the bank, and at the same time asset quality controls are also there in place. Let's not forget that bank also went for universal banking application, and on the back of this we already saw some rally coming up last day. But on the back of the note that we are seeing today, we are seeing the stock is up almost 2% in a day itself. So definitely watching out on the Small Finance Bank in the days coming ahead.
Absolutely, Gaurav. Thanks for highlighting the takeaways of that Goldman Sachs note for us. So that's the reason why AU Small Finance Bank is doing pretty well for itself in today's trade. But the bank submitted its application to the RBI to transition from a small finance bank to a universal bank, and the latest note from Goldman Sachs also that Gaurav highlighted. So now, what does all of this mean for the stock going forward? Let's go across and revisit Nikunj's take on the same. Listen in.
They're not talking about the news, which in a sense was the trigger for the stock. So what Goldman Sachs is doing is that, look, we're coming on an independent view. If they're able to get that endorsement from Reserve Bank of India that they are on course to become a universal bank, then that's a bonus. But on a standalone basis, if the current business franchise has to be understood, one big thing about AU is that Sanjay Agarwal has got a succession and he still has a good 3 years there. So in terms of a management continuity, I think there is a lot of there is a lot for comfort there. Unlike what will happen to Hindustan Bank or Axis Bank, where the terms for the top managements are due. SBI, the change of guard has already happened. So unlike a lot of private banks, AU does not have that challenge. Second, the deposit growth is improving. Today there is a war of liability, if I may use that word, and in that the deposit growth is moving. The new campaigns which you see it on ET now, I think some of those campaigns have really helped them. And then the asset quality seems to be getting better. So it's a stock which is underperformed. They were moved away from what could be called as hyper growth to growth which is higher than the industry average, not very expensive in terms of valuations, and a trigger really could be that hopefully this year or by the end of early next year, Reserve Bank of India could really endorse them and then award them with universal banking license, which could be a game changer. So the stock in the run up to the news and valuations and the current setup of the deposit franchise, I think it could be a stock which could remain warm.
All right, but with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break in this edition of Market Fatafat. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Hi there, welcome back. Thank you so much for still staying tuned to Market Fatafat. You're watching ET now. Let's keep it going with all the big buzzers. And Dhwani, you picked out Glenmark Pharma for us on the stock. Now, just on a year-to-date basis, this stock has doubled in its price. As of now, also at near its all-time high levels. So, what are you spotting for the stock ahead? Are you penciling in some slowdown, or do you think this momentum will sustain?
It's a short-term bet that's coming in on Glenmark Pharma from the current levels. Overall, the derivative data is interesting over here, where we are seeing that long build-ups are taking place in this particular counter. And from current levels, that's a buy recommendation coming in for a target of initially 1800. Given we cross 1800, we are also seeing options being built up in 1860. Strike price as well. So Glenmark Pharma is a buy, and the stop loss that one needs to maintain on the lower side here is going to be of 1680.
Alright then, that's about Glenmark Pharma. Yes, indeed, we are seeing great gains on this one. But Snehi, Dilip Buildcon is the stock that's clearly buzzing today.
Absolutely, it's one of the big buzzers in today's trade. And let's talk about Dilip Buildcon and why it's been buzzing. In fact, it's actually paired all of those gains that we saw coming in for the stock earlier in the day. When the announcement came, the stock really spiked up. Let's know what that announcement was. Now, Dilip Buildcon has been declared as the L1 bidder for the project construction of twin-tube unidirectional tunnel in the Kozhikode and Wayanad districts of the Kerala state. This is on an EPC basis. The bid project cost, including GST, is at 1,341 crores. So it's a big project coming in for Dilip Buildcon, and the completion time for the same is 48 months. So on the back of this big order win of 1,341 crores, the stock did spike up when this announcement came roughly at 12 o'clock today, but has paired all of those gains, but nonetheless trading with an upside of 1.5%.
Alright then, that's about Dilip Buildcon. Well, let's shift focus to Vedanta then, because Vedanta is in focus after the rating agency ICRA has gone ahead and actually upgraded their long-term rating on the expectation of improvement in the company's credit metrics. As we know that Vedanta has been taking a lot of steps in the particular order to reduce the debt on their book. They have already announced the demerger of the company into 6 different entities, and that's already in process. But before that, ICRA ratings for the long term, that is for unallocated limits instrument, has been upgraded to ICRA AA from ICRA AA minus, and the rating watch still continues to be onto the developing implications when it comes to their outlook on the same. On the back of this news flow, Vedanta is indeed in focus, as well as seeing a gains of close to 2%.
Okay, so that's the reason why Vedanta is in focus. But Dhwani, you've picked out Minda Corp for us as one of your technical picks. Tell us what you're spotting on the charts, because in the last 1 year the stock is up 70%. So further upside?
Yeah, absolutely. Further upside is expected over here. Technically, the stock has given a strong breakout around 545 levels, and from there we were soaring high up in the trade, where recently the highs of around 650 were made, post which retesting of the trend line has also taken place. So it's a good time to enter into this counter, given the stop loss that one needs to maintain over here on the lower side is going to be of 545 from wherein we have seen the breakup and the retest. And the target that I'm expecting on the higher side for now is going to be of 650. Given 650 breaches, then 680 is the next target on this one.
Right then, that's about Minda Corporations. But moving on, Gaurav, talk to us about Zaggle. Why is this stock buzzing away in trade today?
Well, yes, Zaggle is buzzing, and the reason being that the company has entered into an agreement with Blue Star Limited. Now, Zaggle would be providing Blue Star the Zaggle Save, which is actually Employee Expense Management and Benefit Services Agreement, and the agreement is going to be for a duration of 1 year. Now, when we talk about the stock performance on the back of this news, we have already seen that Zaggle has increased almost by 2.5%. But what is more interesting about the stock is that the stock got listed in September 2023, and after that we have seen the stock giving returns of more than 100% to the investors. And on back of this, we have already seen that the Zaggle has been a consistent player when we talk about the order wins. So definitely watching out on this counter, not just because of this order, but we have already seen a good track record when it comes to stock price of Zaggle.
So that's why Zaggle is in focus. But Dhwani, you've picked out Hero Motocorp on the charts for us. If I see the last 6 months, the 25% return year to date, also 40% higher. So not bad. But where do you see the stock going ahead? What are the next levels you are spotting for the stock?
Yeah, it's nearing a fresh breakout level now. If you check out the weekly charts as well as the daily charts, there were such swing highs made around 5865 levels. We are trailing around the same level as well. So fresh breakout is expected in this particular counter. The conviction increases as we are also seeing momentum building up on the weekly charts, and as well as on the dailies. What we are seeing is that it's from the bottoms that we are seeing that this momentum indicator of ADX is increasing on the higher side. So from current level, it's a buy recommendation coming in on this one. Stop loss that one needs to maintain on the lower side is going to be of 5575, and on the higher side I'm expecting 6230 as a target. This is going to be a positional call for a holding period of about 3 months.
Alright, that's about Hero Motocorp and the technical check on the same. But the two-wheeler sales zoomed on a YOY basis in August, while the CV and the passenger vehicle sales were in the slow lane. We caught up with Manish Raj Singhania, who's the president of FADA, who talks about high inventory levels and the path going forward. Let's go across and listen in.
The health of the dealer should be on paramount of importance to the OEMs, and they should act accordingly. I do understand that some dealers would be building up stocks for the month of October, because Navratra as well as Deepavali both are coming in a single month. So definitely dealers would be building up stock, but that's why we told about we will be writing to NBFCs and banks to be cautious in terms of lending to dealers and not to over leverage dealers in terms of fund.
Alright, that's the word coming in from FADA. But on that note, we'll slip into a very short break on this edition of Market Fatafat. More stocks on the other side when we return, so you stay tuned.